to European and, of course, US healthcare costs. We are significantly below them. But when, as you say, you actually introduce market forces and the private sector, contrary to the kind of mantra that we're constantly...
right, the contractors that are being sold off bits and pieces to of the NHS, why not expose them to market forces?
Yeah.
Make them compete. No, wait, no, we're not for competition with our friends, George Osborne's friends. They have a state-protected monopoly. We only want competition in this public sector where we can essentially strip all the assets, like they do in Greece. Greece is a classic example of just having bankers strip assets from a defenseless population. Here you've got people are not defending the NHS. I think, one of the interesting bits about all this is that for the British population, they go into a health provider and they're not charged any money. It's free at the point of service. And so as long as they're not paying when they go in, they believe everything's great and nothing is changing. So the folks that are doing the privatization and dismantling the NHS and turning it into a 30% administrative fee, and before costs skyrocket, before healthcare goes into an American-style system where people are dead in the gurneys waiting to see a doctor and nobody gives a hoot, they just throw them in a plastic bag and dump them out back, they will not raise that price until the very end, until it's complete. It'll be too late. Then finally they'll say, oh, by the way, when you go see a doctor, it's going to cost you £30. And then people say, wait a minute, you can't do that. But by then, the 30-year process will have ended and it'll be all over.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly the point, is that the NHS, if you look at the Health Act, the Health and Social Care Act 2012, introduced by the Conservatives in coalition in the last Parliament, that is a privatisation act. And of course, David Cameron and the government continually deny that this is privatisation. So the NHS has been legally abolished. That's kind of the headline. But on the surface, everything appears to be the same. You still, as you say, go to your GP, you go to hospital, it's free at the point of delivery, but actually underneath, everything's being transformed. And when we talk about privatization, people get confused because of that, the fact that things don't appear to have changed. But that is the ultimate goal, and that is actually happening. It's not that far off. So what we're seeing now is the introduction of personal health budgets, which are being rolled out to 5 million patients by 2018, and the most complex patients. And that means you'd have a pot of money, well, you will have a pot of money. And the question is, what happens when that pot of money runs out? Well, easy, you top it up. Of course, not so easy if you don't have the money.